From clarkwoods.com, this is Horribly Off Topic, episode number 228. I'm Chris.
And I'm Steve.
And I was peeking a little bit, so I decided to turn myself down in the mix.
You were peeking at what?
I was peeking at your Johnson.
Well, it's not out.
Well, I was peeking at your Johnson, which was peeking through your... No, it's not really peeking through your pants.
I'm like, is my fly now?
Can a Johnson peek through pants if the fly... I mean, can it peek through...
Cut off your Johnson!
I mean, would it be accurate to say that a man's bulging Johnson was peeking, not exposed, but just bulging, and therefore reshaping the groin area of the pants? Would it be safe or fair to say, not safe, fair to say that was the Johnson peaking, a peaking Johnson?
So I don't know what the over-under is, like on the amount of minutes it takes you to start talking about dicks or tits or something. But I think we might have hit a new record.
It was within the first 60 seconds. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's not. You would think from my
I like how I completely was just like, the question does not deserve to be answered.
It probably doesn't. No, I mean, you would think from my visits to therapy.
Wow!
I'm trying to break all the records. No, you would.
You know what? I ate a cookie the other day.
Did you really?
No, I didn't. But Becky made like some low carb cookie treat things, like I think 2 weeks ago. Uh-huh. So yeah, not that unrecently. It was funny. I was at Market Basket recently, and I looked at, like, you remember those gingerbread cookies I used to get?
Yes, Becky used to bring them. You used to have them, and then once you started dating and you moved in together, Becky would bring them home for you.
Yes, when she would go grocery shopping.
Yeah,
but that's what I would get when I would go grocery shopping, right. Typically at Market Basket, because they didn't have them in other places.
Right.
So I would get one, and it was like, oh, good, I have this cookie, and then I looked at how many, like, just for shits and giggles, how many carbs were in.
Oh, interesting.
I don't know if I got the exact carb number, but I got the exact sugar number, which was well over 100.
100 grams of sugar?
Yes.
Okay.
In the one cookie.
I was wondering.
So that one cookie has more like sugar carbs. Than I'm supposed to have in 5 days.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say.
It has more just carbs in general. Like, and I don't know like what else, but like as far as sugar goes, like if I only ate sugar, then like I could have one of those and then nothing else for I could eat one of those on Monday, and then for the rest of the week nothing, and then Saturday and Sunday I could maybe eat something else.
Well, it is Lent. I mean, you could just give up everything except for cookies for Lent, right? Is that a thing that Catholics do?
I'm not Catholic, though.
No, I didn't say you were. I'm saying, are you aware? I listened to a podcast the other day where they talked about that. You know, you're supposed.
Then you probably know more than me, man.
You're supposed to give up something that you like. It can't be something that...
I already did that a fucking year ago when I gave up fucking carbohydrates.
You gave up cookies a long time before now. Yeah. It can't be something that like you don't already do. You can't, like, I don't know. You can't trick God. Is the gist that I got.
It's just like, I'm gonna give up having sex with men.
Yeah, yeah. You can't do something. You can't give up something you don't do.
Yeah.
Anyway, right.
And then just wink at the sky.
Just wink and say, God, you know what's what, God.
You know what's funny? I want
you're my bro. You're my pal.
I want somebody to say that and then have them accidentally have sex with a man.
You think that would be
accidentally? Well, yeah. I mean,
how do you accidentally have sex with a man?
You're just tooling around, and then you're like, oh my God, I need to fuck a guy. And then a guy that wants to fuck you is nearby.
Oh yeah, I'm
just trying to say something that doesn't sound rapey.
No, yeah. So there's a guy who's interested in having sex with you, and he happens to be standing there in the nude, and he happens to do a squat, and you happen to be lying down on the floor beneath him, and he didn't realize it. and your penis goes into the bum hole that's now squatted over your groin, and
Chris,
he goes, "Oops."
You don't need to be graphic about it.
I get it. There's this move in the workout. So Stephanie and I are working out in the morning together. We're using the Chris Hemsworth app Center, and the exercise routine we were doing this morning involved something called the rocking chair. That was the name of the move, and I swear that the rocking chair is really just like sex practice. So imagine that imagine yourself. Don't
imagine I'm in a rocking chair.
No. Oh. Imagine yourself down on, you're kind of on all fours. So you get your hands on the ground. You've got your knees just off the ground, and you're resting on is it the balls of your feet, the toes. You're kind of on your toes. So you're on the ground, almost on all fours, but not quite. And what you're doing is you're rocking back and forth. So you're moving your bottom backwards, right? On
because that's what generates the power.
Yeah, and then you move your whole body forward, right? And you're kind of at an incline, and what it's very hard not to imagine. I found as I was doing this is it's hard not to imagine that there is somebody beneath you who is benefiting from the exercise that you're doing. In a sexual way. This move just seems like it's sex practice, and I don't know. My wife seemed mad at me, so I felt very silly that I was doing this exercise for a thing that I felt pretty sure I wasn't going to be getting anytime soon. And I don't remember why I brought that up.
I don't know either.
You
were getting too graphic, and you decided to talk about sex, exercise,
sex position. Oh yeah. What's wrong with me, Steve?
I don't know.
What does your therapist say? It's not time for, what does she say? She never tells me specifically that something's wrong with me. I do enough of that. She just lets me say what I think is wrong with me, and then she doesn't correct me.
I don't know.
Or maybe she's said things that are wrong.
Are you going to try the new?
We diagnosed me with ADHD. So I guess she said that's not wrong with me, but that's a thing that I have.
Would that new drug that just got released, which is basically ketamine, would that help you?
Oh, I don't know. I feel like I heard something about this, but not enough. What is it?
It's like a ketamine nasal spray or something like that.
Oh, it's supposed to up you, right?
Yeah, I heard. I mean, I'm going to refrain from using a name with this story. I might have told it on the show before, but 228 episodes. Fucking,
you never know.
Cut me some fucking slack.
I will cut you some slack, and maybe some.
So this story takes place in the late 90s, about our around the time of our limited skirmish with fucking presidential blowjobs. I don't know.
Our limited skirmish. I don't know. Okay, our limited skirmish with presidential blowjobs.
So a friend of ours, I think, was doing some ketamine.
Okay.
And I don't know if this was a result of that or what, but this person got Bell's palsy.
Oh, that doesn't sound good.
So Bell's palsy, for those of you who are not someone who's A, gotten it, or B, been around somebody who has it, is basically your face is kind of like droopy on one side.
Oh, on one side.
So you freak out because you think you're having a stroke, but it's just your face.
And this is possibly, you're not saying for sure, but possibly the result of the
ketamine use.
Ketamine. Oh, interesting.
So we went to Lowell General Hospital and went to the ER because he was worried about stroke.
Right.
And he had his Bell's palsy. So
did this to go away, or does he still have a droopy face to this day?
I don't know. I haven't seen him in probably, I'd say, going on 20 years at this point.
Oh wow!
So this isn't a person.
You couldn't stand the sight of his face.
This is a person that I I just fell out of contact
Got it.
with maybe around 2002, 2003.
Yeah, after our limited skirmish with presidential
Yeah,
blowjobs.
so way after. This was around the time where we were launching our second skirmish with the the Saddam and the Iraqis.
Yes, we were launching things instead of
because of the WMDs. I mean, obviously they were there.
Oh yes, absolutely.
Yeah, the whole justification for a war. Yeah, I mean, it makes no sense. That, there wouldn't have been WMDs there because they said they were there.
Well, you got to believe the president, Steve. I mean,
I gotta believe.
You got to. I gotta believe.
But yeah, so I don't know if we're actually friends on Facebook, but I've seen. I think I went looking and I saw some of the things he posted. I think I'm not friends with him on Facebook. I saw some of the things he posted and it was sort of like, it wasn't MAGA stuff, but it was like adjacent.
Oh, MAGA adjacent.
Yeah.
Those folks. Oh, I don't know. Yeah. They I think they really are MAGA folks. They just are afraid of something. I don't know. They are trying to maintain some connection to the light side of the force, and they're just
like, oh, but I like, I care about people that work for a living.
Yeah,
but I also like fascism.
Yeah. Who doesn't like a little fascism in the just a smidge?
No. As much as I say that, as a ruler, I would totally be a fascist. But that's why I'm not.
That's why you're.
I don't consider myself qualified for any sort of, grand scale leadership position. I mean, I think I could probably excel in a smaller leadership position.
Well, what would you consider smaller?
I don't know anything anything below president.
Are we gonna are we starting your campaign for city councilor or alderman or
No. I don't think I should run for any sort of government office.
But you just said you'd be good as
I'm just saying it's as a manager or something. I could excel, but I don't think I would excel as somebody that has lives that I'm responsible for that I don't know about.
Got it. I think I get you. So you not even an interest in being like Gerald Ford, where you don't have to get elected, you just get appointed.
You know what? I'll amend it. Okay. I will gladly accept a nomination for lieutenant governor.
Lieutenant governor. Okay, that's very big of you. Who in this scenario do you imagine being the governor that appoints you?
I mean, it's not an appointed position; you're elected.
Oh, okay. Well, so, who would choose you as their running mate?
Probably some sort of. I don't know, because I definitely swing left.
Yeah.
So it would probably be a Democrat, or I don't know, or an independent, I suppose, that wanted some sort of fucking wacky guy on the ticket.
Well, a wacky guy will go a long way towards winning over the MAGA folks. I mean, the MAGA folks. I think if you're wacky, you stand a chance of winning them back. I mean, I think they will still have their same politics. They will still have their problematic beliefs. But if you can be wackier than the person they elected last time, then they might go, hey, I don't really want to elect a Democrat or an independent, but he's kind of wacky. He's funny.
Yeah,
you could have a beer with him.
Yeah,
I mean, you couldn't have a beer with you because you don't do beers anymore.
I would drink whiskey while they drink beer.
All right, vodka tonic,
soda,
vodka soda.
Tonic water has sugar.
Does it?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Unless it's diet tonic water, and diet soda I think tastes like garbage. Because artificial sweeteners, or most of them, in my opinion, if you like them, then please enjoy them. But I think they taste gross.
Right. I wasn't thinking of anything flavored or with sugar in it. I was just thinking vodka. Wait, which one?
Soda.
Vodka soda.
So when you go to
you say vodka. This is like a New England thing. You say vodka, and I don't want to go back onto the whole New England thing.
Well, no, but tonic is a catch-all in New England for soda.
Right.
But you can't say vodka tonic at anywhere, regardless of, like New England or not.
Yeah.
And expect to get soda water.
Right. Well, this is
unless you say, "Could I get a vodka and some tonic?" It's like
then they would know.
Maybe I don't know.
See,
at that point. I don't think so.
I think because I have heard vodka tonic. What I assume is vodka tonic is vodka and that tasteless carbonated bullshit water that people claim to like, but really
I don't. Chris, no one says like, "Oh my God, this bubbly water that has the same flavor as regular water is fucking awesome."
No, they do.
Who says that?
The podcasters that I have mostly stopped listening to them, but for
some of them like the Polar has flavors; those are okay. But I think
these people, this is like a whole subset of they want bubbly water with no flavor, just bubbly water. Like these are people who went and got the Soda Stream, and they got the Soda Stream not to put the little flavors in it. They got the Soda Stream so they could make water that was twice as bubbly as the plain bubbly water that you could get in stores.
They just wanted more carbonation.
They wanted more carbonation. Well, so this was a whole subset of like 20, 30, 40, 50 different podcasters that were on all these shows I listened to, and they would talk about their fucking fizzy water like it was the best thing on earth. And so I like the sheep that I am, went out and tried it, and I was like, this is fucking gross. Like,
it's not gross, Chris.
It's gross. It needs flavor.
So you like, if I didn't put a little bit of lemon in water.
No. Regular water with nothing in it, I'm cool with. I drink a lot of regular water with nothing in it.
What the hell is your problem with...
Something about carbonated...
But you drink cola.
Yes, but carbonated regular water with nothing in it feels like an abomination. It feels like an act against God. I'm gonna come right out and say it. If you like plain carbonated water, you are I don't know, scum.
I do like plain carbonated water, Chris, but I'm not like saying that it's the best thing, since I don't want to say sliced bread because
since sliced cliches.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's the best thing since a bread box.
Yeah, you know.
We're putting sliced bread in a bread box.
Well, that's what she said.
You ever wanted, like, I always wanted to, like, be able to make a sandwich by, like, taking pieces of meat and bread and shuffling them like cards. Like they do in the cartoons.
I think that would be. I mean,
like
I don't
like some meat and cheese and bread and like.
I don't know that.
And like a giant Dagwood sandwich, like with the different layers of the things that I'd shuffle together.
I can't say that I ever did dream of doing that, but now that you mention it,
I can dream of making a sandwich by shuffling some bread and meat and cheese together. If I could hold you tonight.
Shuffling.
That was a fucking stretch. That was like when, like, occasionally you'll hear somebody like do a parody song and they'll shoehorn a teeny bit.
Yeah,
like, that was like a shoehorn. That was
like a double shoehorn.
The shoehorn the size of a fucking Buick that I just used.
No, I've never dreamed of that. I didn't know, and I still think I don't know exactly what makes a sandwich a Dagwood sandwich. I remember
it's just a big sandwich.
Like a quadruple decker.
Yeah, it's like, it's named after Dagwood from Blondie.
Okay, so I was in Universal Studios last summer, and I remember going through the Toontown area. It's called Toon Lagoon, not Toontown. Toontown was in Roger Rabbit, and which is a Disney property. So I was going through Toon Lagoon at Universal Studios, and I saw the Blondie Pavilion, and I saw something about Dagwood, and I was like, oh, I've heard.
Did they have
Dagwood
a big sandwich like at the concessions there?
I think they did.
Ooh.
Yeah. They also had a Wimpy burger. But
could you gladly pay them tomorrow for a hamburger today?
I don't know. I did not get to examine.
Do kids these days know fucking Popeye and Blondie? Like, I
mean that part.
I don't think Blondie's in the newspapers anymore. But Popeye, like,
I mean, kids even know what a newspaper is. That I mean, they understand what news is, and they understand maybe
they understand that only Fox News is like fair and balanced, right?
Well, they're certainly trying to teach the kids that. Well, Fox News is. No, it's I going through that part of the park, and maybe I talked about this at the time. It just that part of the park makes no sense to me. It's one of the quote unquote islands of adventure, and it just I don't understand.
Do you get hit like with a giant mallet or something? Fun?
No, it didn't look like there was anything even nearly.
Is there like a Far Side pavilion too?
No.
Oh.
No, it's all cartoons that haven't been around since our parents were. I mean, maybe they were kind of there when we were kids.
I remember Popeye being on TV.
I remember Popeye being on TV, but I don't remember Popeye as a comic strip.
Yeah. And
this whole land is themed around the comic strips, not
was Family Circus there?
No.
So
this is
what about everyone's favorite Garfield?
Nope. They had Heathcliff.
Oh, Heathcliff.
That's what I'm saying. Like they don't have. It's such a. So we're okay. All right.
Well, I just want to
back up a step.
I want to talk about a certain Garfield cartoon that I've seen on Twitter a couple of times recently.
Okay.
So don't interrupt me this time, Chris.
You interrupted me. I wasn't.
No.
I wasn't done with what I was saying.
I don't care. I don't care this time, Chris.
Okay.
So we're talking about there was a Garfield's at the vet, and John comes in and he drinks a mug of something, and then the vet goes, or maybe John says something about this coffee tasting weird, and then the vet says, "Oh, you're gonna have puppies." So basically, that cartoon was John drinks a mug full. I don't know why it was in a mug full of dog cum.
What? Is this a real? This is
a real Garfield cartoon.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Look it up.
Okay, Garfield, arbuckle, jizz cup.
What?
All right, I'm going to look it up. I don't believe it, but if I find it, it'll be the show art for this episode. Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Jizz cup. That's how you search for things? Jizz cup?
No, I just needed to remind myself quickly. I was trying to finish typing because you say I type too loud. I was trying to write something that would make sense to me later. That's all I was trying to do, Steve.
I can dream of you typing less loud.
Do I get to finish my thought now?
Yes.
Okay. So the problem with Universal Studios and Universal Studios Islands of Adventure is that they are complete hack jobs. I mean, aside from the Harry Potter part of the park, which is of each park, the rest of it is so poorly, half-assedly themed. Maybe Jurassic Park and King Kong are close. The rest of it is just this held together by, I don't know, Dr. Seuss Land is okay. And we are planning a trip to Orlando for not this April vacation, but April vacation of 2020. And I find myself we're trying to figure out the finances.
I don't understand why you keep on going back to fucking Florida.
I love Disney World. I'm sorry, I love Disney World, and my wife loves Disney World, and my kids love Disney World. Sorry,
go to Disneyland instead or something. If you love Disney,
maybe we will. But
go, and your brother, you can go with you.
He comes with us to Florida.
Yeah, but then you won't have to make him fly across the fucking country.
Okay. I get it, Steve.
Florida is the wrinkly nuts, wrinkly nutsack of America, or whatever the fuck. But it has got to be one of the worst places in the country.
Everything,
and you keep on supporting that place financially.
I support the Walt Disney Corporation and that center little circle in the middle of that terrible.
I mean,
state. Even in the wrinkly nutsack of America, there's one sperm in there that's
Miami?
It's got something going for it. No. fuck Miami. Miami to me feels to me like and maybe I'm wrong. I'm going to say
you're probably wrong.
I'm going to say that Miami is the center, the genesis of rape culture in America. I'm going to go so far as to say that I feel like Miami is a place that is about sexual assault. I'm. If we have any listeners in Miami, I'm sorry.
I don't think that we do, but
it seems like a very sleazeball place that I would never anybody that I know and love to go to.
All right. Well, I mean, you're probably referring to the 1980s version of Miami.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it seems like it would probably be safer with Don Johnson running around in a cool looking jacket.
No, but even if you are supporting the Walt Disney Corporation by going to their Florida theme park, you are basically like, they pay taxes there. I think they do. At least.
I'm sure they pay very little taxes.
Yeah, because they're a giant corporation.
And they bought up a bunch of swampland under a bunch of shell companies. They got a pretty good. But
you are financially supporting that state by doing that.
Okay. Have you ever thought that maybe my financial support of that state led in part to them getting rid of their hanging fucking chads and doing better?
No, they have gone significantly more red since then.
All right. I like Disney World. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying that you can like, Disney World and not, go there as often as you go. And maybe wait for it to go back to being a blue state and then go. Support it then.
How is it going to go back to being a blue state if people like me don't exert our influence over it? If it's just red state or
okay, so
there,
like,
I mean,
this is capitalism right here.
Okay.
Like, if you as a state are a shithole. And nobody wants to go there because of like your shitty red people. And I'm not saying red as a pejorative towards any sort of ethnic group. Right. I'm saying red as towards a pejorative, a political group. Then you don't go there. And like maybe if there's like a liberal bastion, which isn't Disney World, by the way, in like in another state like Austin, Texas. Like you could go there and support them, and then maybe that could blossom from there. But like,
I think Austin. Not to get horribly off topic. I mean, but you brought it. I think Austin. My guess would be that it is the exception rather than the rule to that, because wherever cool liberal artists go to establish communes, eventually they make it too cool and all the corporate red state assholes come in and build fucking condos to exploit the coolness of the place, and it stops being cool. Case in point, Portsmouth, New Hampshire, anything like that. So it is better off if we kind of keep ourselves away from Austin, because if we make Austin any cooler than it already is, everybody's going to swoop in there and ruin it. I mean, I hear this from San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, all of these places. They are on the way towards pricing out and getting rid of all of the culture and cool people because they've become too cool. So I just,
Well, I don't know, Chris. What is your solution?
My solution
is to go to Disney World and waste all your money there.
My solution is to go to Disney World because the world is going to end. I am going to die, and I might as well enjoy my life while I can.
But your kids are still going to be around. You got to leave them something.
I would love to leave them something, but I am one person on this fucked up planet, and my vote doesn't count for shit. And I can't convince any of the rest of my my conservative family to come and join the right side of history. So nope, the world's going to end. The world is a disaster. It's going to be a disaster for my kids. And what I hope to teach them is to enjoy life as much as they can while they still have it.
No, but basically you're teaching them to be fucking conservative because that's all they're fucking doing.
No, I'm not going to try to teach them to be conservative. Enjoy life as much as you can in my estimation is not about
but also care about other people.
That's what I'm saying. It's not as much as you can. For me, involves a certain amount of realizing that you can't do nothing but enjoy your life. You can't lead an entirely hedonistic life.
Yeah, because you'd just be covered in cum.
Yes.
Can we call the episode that?
No. Covered in arbuckle? No. Arbuckle covered in Odie? I don't know. No, what I mean by I want them and I want myself to enjoy life as much as I can.
If you had like a pirate like belt,
yeah,
like would it be like an arbuckle?
Oh boy. We got a couple of pieces of listener feedback.
Couple.
Well, we got one, and then I got a bit of follow up that I just learned about.
Oh yes,
and
with my wife
from your wife, and then talk about my car. Maybe at the end we can talk about Captain Marvel, since we don't want to spoil it for anybody.
Let's spoil it for everyone.
All right. Well, and we could talk about the fact that I'm actually taking a vacation next week. I didn't remember until just now.
We're sort of taking a vacation at the end of next week too.
If you had a belt, wait, what? If you had if you were a pirate and you had a belt, okay,
would it be an arbuckle?
Gotcha. If you were a pirate and
nothing makes a joke funnier than when I explain it again while you're typing it.
Would it be an arbuckle? Maybe I'm gonna replace the joke that I wrote in my manuscript this morning with that one. I think that's...
You better fucking credit me.
Shit. I think I can do that. I think I can... I
want to see my fucking special thanks. Like, well, you should just put me on as a writing credit. So, written by E. Christopher Clark and Steve Woodbridge.
Because of that one line.
Because of that one line, baby.
So you're sort of taking a vacation. How are you sort of taking a vacation?
We're going up to Portland, Maine, for a long weekend.
Oh, okay.
So we're going up on Friday, and then we're coming back on Monday.
Nice, very nice.
For St. Patrick's Day and the NEPL finals.
Ah, okay. New England Pinball League.
Correct.
Yeah. Are you competing or just watching?
I am competing. Becky might be competing.
Nice.
So
very nice.
She's right on she's teetering, but there's a chance she could compete.
Well, that is a good weekend. I'm taking the week off from teaching and from my office job to put spit and polish on the manuscript.
I thought you were going to spit and polish on the old Pekka.
Well, I am flexible, but not that flexible.
Well, you can spit on it from a distance.
I got a little bit of a gut. I don't know if I would hit it. I mean, I guess...
Lay down!
You
can arc the spit
up.
Arc
the spit. Okay. Try to... All right.
I
might have to give it a try.
This is something... Yeah, sure.
I just...
Let me know how it works out.
I'm going to work on the manuscript to get it ready for my sensitivity readers, who I need to find in many cases.
Make sure you're not doing what I suggested earlier while you're talking to your sensitivity readers.
No. Stroking it, spitting on my penis. Wait.
I'll be stroking.
Like Billy Squire. But I don't.
I was singing the Clarence Carter song.
Oh, okay. I just
stroking. Somebody sang "Stroking" at karaoke one time back in the day at Boomers.
JJ Boomers.
JJ Boomers.
Yeah. How'd they do?
They did great.
Yeah.
Although everybody is like, "What the fuck is this song?" I had heard it before though.
Okay.
Because of course I've heard some obscure song about some guy jacking.
Well, it's there's a lot of songs that are about jacking. We just haven't realized it yet. Because Madonna's song, this is a song I was writing about in the book this morning. Madonna's song "Dress You Up," I think, is actually about female ejaculation.
Oh,
she's gonna dress you up in her love all over your body.
Okay.
Or it could have been a song that was written by a man and she just sang it, sort of like "Girls Just Want to Have Fun," right? was originally written for a man, but then Cyndi Lauper sang it.
And then Weird Al said, "Girls just want to have lunch."
I bet you a lot of girls do just want to have lunch, right? You're trying to get them to go out on a date with you, and they're like, "Well, I do need to eat," and so they go out, and they're like, "I really don't like this person. I just want lunch. I just want to have lunch." And
girls, they want to have lunch.
I don't remember that one.
It was off the Dare to Be Stupid record.
Oh, okay, all right. I'd not known that one. The first one that we owned, as I think we've talked about on the show,
was even worse.
Yeah. And I don't know if that was one that like my brother that John got, or if my parents bought it for us, or whatever. It's well documented that I have a strange thing for Stuck in the Closet with Vanna White.
I was cleaning out some of the Nintendo games that we got.
You have a Vanna White Nintendo game?
Hold on.
Oh wait. Oh my.
There we go.
Oh my. Hello.
It doesn't work. Only half of the games that I've cleaned off so far have worked.
Vanna, so yesterday,
but that was from like the 80s there, or maybe the early 90s.
So last night, as I mentioned, we were watching. I think this is on the show and not on the test. We were watching Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Kaylee, who's 12, she's going to turn 13 at the end of this week.
Holy shit!
I'll have a teenager before the next time we record.
Wow.
That just hit me. I don't think about.
She's like 1 year away from like possibly having like a part-time job. Like you can. I think 14 is like when you can.
Her slightly older cousin turned 14 in December, and she started at the grocery store. So
like Market Basket.
They're in New Hampshire, so I don't know if it could be Market Basket
or Hannaford's probably.
Yeah. At any rate, so Kaylee says to me last night, she is mystified by how Paul Rudd has not aged. Yeah. And this was interesting to me on a couple of levels. At first, it wasn't that interesting to me because I was so tired. I was ready to go to sleep. But now as I'm sitting here and thinking about it, I'm like, I think my daughter might have a little crush on Paul Rudd.
I mean,
she had watched.
Give me that.
She had watched. She'd been watching Friends, and so this was what she was making the comparison: is that she's seen Paul Rudd as Phoebe's love interest on Friends, and she's watching Paul Rudd in Ant-Man and the Wasp and thinking he hasn't aged. Now, I don't think she's seen
the Super Nintendo ad he was in like 1991.
No,
because he's a baby in that.
Clueless or
I'm surprised she hasn't seen Clueless.
Is he in Clueless?
Yeah.
Or Romeo and Juliet, the Baz Luhrmann one, where I think it would be obvious to her that yes, he has aged. Not a lot. He's still a good-looking fella. But he is going to turn 50 this year.
Oh, wow.
And that freaked her out. It freaked my wife out, too. She's like, what? But to bring it back to Vanna White, like, I don't know how old Vanna White is now, but I think Vanna White is just as attractive as she's ever been. She's probably in her 60s at this point, but she's just a very good-looking woman. And I forget why I brought that up. Vanna White.
We were talking about even worse again.
Okay, no, so anyway... to bring it to the game, because you brought up the game, that was where I was going to go next, was my younger daughter has been watching the Netflix show Carmen Sandiego. And that has freaked Stephanie out. No, it is a brand new Netflix show. It's a cartoon about Carmen Sandiego from the video game.
Do it, Rockapella! Do they have Rockapella?
They do not. I do not believe they have Rockapella.
Remember?
No.
You never watched Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
I did, but I don't remember that.
You don't remember the fucking song?
No.
Where in the world
I remember
is
that
Carmen
part.
Sandiego?
I don't remember anything other than that part. That part is etched into my brain. I started singing it the other day to Melody, and she was like, looked at me dumbfounded, like that is not how the theme song to this show goes. But it freaked Stephanie out because she, while not a big video game player, like many people of our vintage, she's a year older than me, so 3 years older than you, but I think she's still in there. She played the Carmen Sandiego games and has a lot of fondness for them. So the fact that her daughter was watching a brand new cartoon about Carmen Sandiego was an odd moment for her. I don't know. Which Carmen Sandiego did you probably play the most?
I think it was Where in the World. I think was the one. I think Rob had it.
Yeah, I feel like I played it over at the I was going to say their last name.
At
Paul and his brother John's house.
Yeah.
I was as we've talked about before, I was friends with his brother John. And I loved going over there because they had a computer and it had computer games. And I think they might have had but I know we also played this at school sometimes. So I know I played Where in the World. I know I played Where in the US. And the Nintendo one that came out, I believe, was Where in Time is Carmen Sandiego.
Well, there was one with Mario too, which was like an edutainment game.
Oh, interesting.
It was Mario's Missing, and then like the Mario's Time Machine. It was just a bunch of bullshit learning games that they tried to force feed us, and then we're like, "Fuck, I'm learning."
Fuck, I'm learning.
You can't make that the title.
No, but
it could be like F.
Oh, fuck, I'm learning. So. Yeah, I mean, it made me want to go back and play those games and play them with the kids. I don't even know if you could find an emulator that would play, because they were for PC. Probably.
Yeah, most of them were like a PC game, but like this was PC when like it was running off of DOS, I believe.
Yeah.
So you like even if you were trying to load it on like a Windows machine, you would have to go to some sort of DOS prompt to make it work.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, it would have to be some sort of emulator or something, and they'd probably
like a DOS. I don't know.
They'd probably get bored after like 5 minutes, but
they'd be like, "This is stupid. Where's my Nintendo Switch?"
Yeah. Well, but you know what though? Most of the games that they play are really not that complicated, not that sophisticated iOS games. So playing a DOS game that's mostly text and that has maybe a little bit of it was mostly text and had few still images, or
occasionally something would move.
Yeah. Okay.
It was like playing Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom, only with education.
I don't know. I don't know what any. I mean, Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom is such a big part of that sentence. Like
Princess Tomato in the Salad Kingdom was one.
That I was like, I don't understand anything you just said, but really, I understood everything you just said except for that part.
That it was a point and click adventure game, like by Hudson Soft, that was for the Nintendo. But like, it's really. I have it on my Wii, which is currently living in my Wii U.
Okay. The one game, and we've talked about this before, and you don't understand it, but the one game I have wanted, the NES game I've long wanted to go back to, is Wizardry.
Do we have that?
I
have to look at the basket.
That one was one.
I don't think so.
There was a really good, or I feel like there was a really good wrestling one that I long wanted to go back to, but I think I did eventually.
Was it the one with like the Swamp Man? Or was it like
I think it was Tecmo Wrestling, and I think I did eventually go back to it, and I was like, this is not nearly as cool as I remember it being.
Not as much as Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yeah, nah. I was a wrestling fan then, so like I was wrestling in basketball, and it's funny, like I
am a real American.
Sure you are.
Yeah.
I would I can't believe that's for Wyndham and Rotundo. The original version of that was for somebody else, not Hulk Hogan, and the MP3 that I found of it back in the day when you went online and you downloaded MP3s. This is post Napster. I think it was Kazaa was where I was getting my MP3s. The version I had was from a WWF album, and at the end of Real American, it had Mean Gene Okerlund, Jesse Ventura, and
Jesse the Body
Ventura,
not Jesse the Mind Ventura when he was the governor.
And
I am a governor, a Navy SEAL.
How do you feel about thermite paint there, Jesse?
There's no way that jet fuel could blow up a building. This was an inside job.
And Vince McMahon was also on the track at the end. So yeah.
I think Vince McMahon elbow dropped the two towers.
So Jesse and Vince and Gene are there as Real American fades out, and Jesse is upset that is it Derringer whoever actually sang the song. He says, "I can't believe that's for Wyndham and Rotundo. Derringer, you should have buried yourself in Spadeberry." I don't know why.
You should have buried yourself in Spadeberry.
Thank you. And
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know what it means either.
But at least it sounds good, right?
It sounds like Jesse Ventura. No, so that was what was at the end of Real American every time I listened to it, and I listened to it a lot. So I had that MP3 for years and years and years. I don't think I still have it. I think I found a legit copy of that that doesn't have that at the end. But,
cool.
So should we get to, speaking of wrestling?
Yeah, we could.
Wow, I didn't
segue
even
that.
that.
Yeah.
I seriously didn't. No, that's a good transition. We got an email here from friend of the show, Ryan.
Ryan, who has been on the show on more than one occasion.
So not just friend of the show, but occasional
contributor to the show.
Occasional contributor.
Yes.
Correspondent.
Yes, you could even say that.
So you brought up a story last week.
About ice cream.
I
don't think that ice cream tastes very good.
Why is that, Jesse?
Fucking, I lost it.
It tastes like
it tastes like disappointment. I lost the voice.
All right, so Ryan wrote in response to your story, because Ryan, as you mentioned, was there with you and lived.
Yes, and he's very good at remembering things and or hearing things better than me.
So Ryan writes, I'd like to offer a slight correction to the discussion of the wrestling match, particularly about the wrestler Steve identified as Ice Cream.
Yes.
Yes, he was referred to as Ice Cream by the crowd throughout the match, and was dressed as what I believe to be chocolate-covered mint or pistachio ice cream. However, at the beginning of the match, the announcer introduced him as El Hijo, because I think the H is not pronounced, El Hijo de Ice Cream, which translates to the son of ice cream, meaning that there is likely a Padre de Ice Cream out there.
Father of... Well, wouldn't he be a grandfather of ice cream? Okay, so if it's the son of ice cream...
Yes, I see where you're going.
And then maybe there's three guys, and it should have been those three guys against three other luchadors.
Right, so there should have been ice cream, and then there should have been Padre de Ice Cream.
Yeah,
and then
the Gramps.
El Hijo de Ice Cream.
Yeah.
Right? So you gotta start from the center,
yes,
like a Tootsie Roll pop, except in reverse. So I'm mixing too many metaphors here. You've got ice cream,
and then they gotta call themselves the Sunday.
If we didn't have 13 minutes left, let's just do that at the end, sort of like you were saying the aristocrats, and they could have called themselves the Sunday. We'll just end the show wherever I'm at. And when you're ready, you're like, Chris is saying too many stupid things in a row. You're just going to say that, and the show will be over.
Okay.
All right. So back to Ryan.
And then they called them down.
No, I'm reading Ryan's email. So Ryan is not writing anything.
I know.
Okay.
But I just was
just preparing,
yes,
getting ready. All right. Ryan continues. He must have been listening as he was typing this message. I'm just hearing that you want me to write in as I'm writing this. I'm not that into wrestling, other than El Hijo de Ice Cream and his father. But I think you were trying to think of the term stable. I believe that they're called stables of wrestlers. An example being Bobby the Brain Heenan's Heenan family. The only stable I could identify at Chaotic Wrestling was Killanova, which
yes,
both Steve and I initially thought was Kilangva. Is that how
it was just the weird font?
It was based
that
on
they
their
had
font
it on
choice,
the screen.
Yeah. So did I say that right? Kilangva. Killanova. Yeah.
I am just getting old because I forget so many fucking things that I see and say. If I listen back to just say a years ago podcast, I'd be like, when the fuck did I don't remember saying that. So one of the dangers of getting old.
They are the dangers of getting old. Are there other dangers of getting old, Steve?
Yes, you just hurt.
My ear hurts right now. Is that because I'm old?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I exercising this morning.
You were
wrist,
exercising your ear?
No, but my wrist.
Were you going like this?
Yeah. I was just
flicking your earlobe.
I was flicking my ear. I was imagining somebody flicking their dick.
Little Chris Clark has a problem. Remember that? It was like an ad for Sega Genesis.
No.
And like this kid was sitting in class and like the kids
two
on either side were flicking his earlobes.
Yeah.
And then he gets fucking Sega Genesis and Streets of Rage, and then he's like, "Welcome to the next level."
It wasn't Altered Beast. It was Streets of Rage.
I think it was like further on
okay.
in the Genesis's life cycle.
My pal, my elementary school / early Boy Scout pal, Alan, was the first person I knew to have a Genesis, and he brought it over for me and my brother to play.
I think I might have been there.
Oh, were you? Okay. And Altered Beast was the game. Yeah.
Taste the beast.
Yeah. It seemed like that was the. And I feel like we got our Nintendo,
and then your dad
NES.
started playing a baseball simulator game on it, and then you never got to play it again.
No, that was a little bit later, but we got the Nintendo.
Like that was always like I love bringing this up. Like your dad was basically looking at stats of a fake baseball team.
Yeah.
That he would just let play.
Mm-hmm. I think he was legit heartbroken when I forget which winter storm it was that something came down on one of the wires outside and shorted out 90% of the electronics in the house, including that NES, which had been running that game pretty much nonstop for years.
So was your NES was John?
The NES was DOA, like not DOA. It killed the NES.
Oh no!
I want to say there might have been an NES bought to pacify him.
But he needed to get a new copy of the game too, probably.
Maybe, yeah. I don't know. I mean, this might have even been at the point where John. No, I was gonna say when John had moved out to California, but
no, I don't think it was. Like, was he like that long after? John moved out in 2001.
Yeah, no. So it probably was earlier than that. But he did have it for a really long time, and I actually wrote about it in my story, One Player or Two.
Was it about video games?
It's a literary fiction take on reality, so it's sad. It's really sad.
Oh, cool.
It's about a kid going off to college the year after his dad has passed away and continuing to try and write down the stats from the baseball game that his dad played obsessively, the way that my dad did.
No. You're going to have to buy a Wii U so you can get Baseball Simulator 2000, Chris.
It's a very sad story. No, I think he's long since past that. I mean, now, I wonder, I don't know when he started betting on baseball. He never bet on baseball. But when he started betting on football like he does today, I wonder if the real betting grew out of that kind of activity
with stats activity.
Because I think I've always noticed that my dad has been interested in stats and that sort of thing.
Which is surprising. It's surprising that he doesn't pay more attention to baseball, because that's way more of a stats game than anything else.
No, the baseball I don't think does anything for him. I think he coached baseball, so I think back in the day it probably did something.
But yeah, like if you were a stats guy, like baseball is just your bread
baseball
and butter.
Is chock-a-block.
Yeah, like there's nothing but stats. Like you're like, well, this guy, in this situation hits such and such because against left-handers, and then da 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 da.
Yeah. Well, and it's thanks to baseball that I have my favorite sports metaphor, which I think is from John Gruber originally. The guy
when you fuck, it's a home run.
No.
And when you're sticking a digit in, that's a third base.
I could never.
And touching a titty, I guess, is second base.
I could never keep any of that straight.
And making out. So you're like, people are like, Chris, how'd you do? And you're like, I got thrown out at first.
I could never keep any of it straight past first base. I knew what first base was, and I knew that a home run was having sex. I could not tell you because I swore that the definition varied from person to person. What second base?
What else
and
did you hear then?
Well, I mean, is it all regarding the woman's body, or is part of it at some point regarding,
as a man, like
what I'm saying? So is what I could never wrap my head around is one of them, you feeling up the girl, and the other one her feeling up you, or is it all like getting your hand up her shirt and your hand down her pants? And then
but it would be different for a girl because like there's
I guess wouldn't use this dumb sports metaphor.
Yeah, well, she might not, or maybe she would. But if she was to, if she was going to grab this is for a heterosexual lady,
right? If
she was to grab a titty, a male titty, then would she consider that second base? I don't know. This is something we need to.
Well, for her, then maybe it would be. Second base would be him putting his hand up her shirt, and third base would be her putting her hand down his pants. Like, that's the part that I couldn't wrap my head around, and so I never bothered to try and...
So I think hands down pants is third.
Yes, and then hands down whose pants?
Whomever is the other person.
Okay. All right. And
if it's down your own pants, then I'm getting triples. Like
I'm getting triples for days.
I've got in my life, I've gotten a lot of fucking triples. I lead the league.
No. So the metaphor that I was first introduced to by John,
by the way, thank you, Ryan, for the email.
Yes, thank you. But John Gruber was that in baseball, and as in I think a lot of sports, you have stats people and you have story people, right? There are people who care about the stats, and there are people who care about the story, and so. I think your reasoning is quite sound. Is like, if my dad is as much a stats guy as he is, why is he not more obsessed with baseball than football? Football feels more like a story person's game. And the other sport he bets on is golf. I've tried to understand exactly how betting on golf works, but he's explained it, and I don't get it.
I don't understand betting on anything.
He bets on March Madness every year.
Because I don't know, the odds are just astronomically bad to bet on something or gamble on anything and come out a winner. And
he has. I think that's why he continues, though, is that he has won a disproportionate number of times in the weird little pools and stuff that he's been part of. So, we've won. The family has won the Eliminator football pool at least 2 or 3 times in the 10 or 15 years that he's been doing it. So I think because we've had relatively such a good average of winning it all or of going far, he keeps doing it. So he's seeing some sort of, and maybe it's because he spent all those years playing Baseball Simulator 2000.
So is he up, you think?
Overall, no. Okay. I think I think you're absolutely right that overall it's a losing proposition.
No matter what. Like, my dad, he and my stepmom, I think, won recently 15 grand on a scratcher.
Yeah.
And but I'm like, that's cool, but you've probably spent way more than that.
Yeah.
The amount you've spent is crazy amounts more than the amount you've won. And you occasionally win one. If you take. I take the. I have to use my I statements. I don't want to put what I feel on other people.
Right.
I understand. When I play Keno, I put $5 on Keno or $10 on Keno. I understand. I am intentionally throwing away,
right,
$5 to $10.
Yeah.
Occasionally we win, but it's not very often.
So where would you? It's not gambling, but where would you put playing pinball and spending money on pinball in that continuum of
I mean,
gambling?
I just like doing it as a hobby, and like the fact that I won some money in the process is basically covered my hobby for that particular season. But like, I don't know, I don't care about winning money. I just care about having fun and playing games and whatnot, and being around some good people.
See, I asked you that question. Now I find myself asking myself the question of when I invest money into my books, as I did with Wingfield, as I'm going to do with this new one.
I should write a book too, and you should publish it.
Well, I know how to do that.
All right,
but to finish my thought before you cut me off with
my book idea, let me pitch it.
No, not your book idea. with the phrase that will end the show. I just like when I invest money in promoting the book. Am I in a way gambling because I don't know if it's going to result in any sales of the book or anybody else reading.
But if this is something this is something you're doing creatively, and it's not creativity to gamble.
No, I know. Writing the book isn't a gamble, but going out, publishing the book, spending the money to put the book out into the world, and then spending the money to promote it, is that a gamble?
It is a gamble, but it's like, because it's something that you put your heart and soul into, I think it's worth it.
Okay. So what's your book idea?
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck.
Well, you can find the show notes for this episode at clarkwoods.com/hot/228.
Another one in the can.
Another one in the can. Did you get a lot of triples in the can?
What the fuck was I supposed to say?
I don't know.
Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
They should be called the Sunday.
Plural?
I don't know.
Singular? I don't know. Try it again.
Sundays.
Sunday.
No, they are the Sunday.
Oh, they are the Sunday.
Because the 3 scoops of ice cream
are
the Sunday.
Shit, dog, I ruined our ending.
Yep.